Hello, Ray Phoenix here. Welcome to Let's Play Vectorman Part 1 for the Sega Genesis. You can control Vectorman at the Sega logo and make him destroy the logo and stuff like that. This is a pretty revolutionary 2D platformer slash run and gun shooter type game for the Sega Genesis from 1995. This actually does look very good on the Sega Genesis. I often consider this game to be Sega's Donkey Kong Country. It plays in a 2D playing field, but has like a 3D pre-rendered look to it. This game came out in 1995 after the release of the PS1, and by this point in time, people just wanted 3D platformers and new 3D games and stuff like that. But this game Sega still wanted to, take a stand against the people who want the new games, or all those new systems and those new 3D games. They want to make their own thing, they want to show that we still got it. This game is set in the future where humanity has escaped to the stars to clean up everything, and this evil robot, well, he's not an evil robot, but he's a robot that has to oversee the cleaning operation. Somehow he turns evil, and now he wants to rule the world, or he has like a whole army of evil robots that he's subjugated, and now Vectorman has come back to fight against these evil robots and save the world. The graphics are really good for a 1995 Genesis game. I mean, sure, it's always not as good as PS1, of course, because, it just doesn't compete, that's kind of expected. But this game is really good for what, the Sega Genesis game. This game does really do a good job of demonstrating what the Genesis is capable of. It's not unnecessary 3D like Virtua Racing or anything like that. It actually does stay in the parameters of what the Genesis is capable of being, and I think it did a good job with that. This is the big problem with this game. This game didn't really sell very well. It wasn't really very successful, and that's because the game came out way too late. Like I just said earlier, PS1 was already out by then. People were more interested in PS1 and Genesis. The concept of those Genesis games was becoming quite dated, because this game does have the same concept, like how most Genesis games play out, where they're like 2D platformers. You only have so many lives. You have no continues in this game. You only have so many lives. And once you die and run out of all your lives, that's it. It's game over. That worked back in the late 80s and early 90s, but at this point in time, it's 1995. People kind of want something different at this point in time, which is exactly the case of this game. That's why this game didn't really do very well. But despite that, this game actually is really good. This is one of the best games on the Sega Genesis. This is like a really revolutionary game. It's a bit like Earthworm Jim, only it's a lot better, because Earthworm Jim had tons of BS moments, but this game, not so much. I'm sure this game does have some BS moments. A lot of games have BS moments. Even some of the best games, like Mega Man, have BS moments. But yeah, this game's really good. You get to smash TVs just like in Sonic the Hedgehog, and you can run around and shoot at stuff. You shoot at evil robots, and you collect these photons, which add to your score. Score is not completely useless in this game, because the score actually does help give you new lives, and that's the real reason why you build up a score in this game, so you can earn new lives. It's really easy to earn new lives in this game. Maybe that's why they didn't give you continues in this game, because, who needs continues when you can get so many lives, right? This game is really enjoyable overall. This is like one of the best. A lot of people, this is one of the best. This is like a legendary game that a lot of people don't really talk about. I mostly know about this game because it was on the Sonic Gems collection on the GameCube. It was an unlockable game. You could unlock Vectorman and its sequel, Vectorman 2. Yeah, that's right. This game had a sequel called Vectorman 2. They're unlockable on the Sonic Gems collection. I instantly unlocked the game thinking, how did I unlock this? But as it turns out, the game is already unlocked if it scans your memory card when you turn it on, and it detects that you have data from Sonic Heroes on your GameCube memory card, which I did have Sonic Heroes for GameCube, so that's probably why it detected that. So that's why it gave me Vectorman already to just begin. Seems like an odd way to unlock something, but yeah, the game does that. And then I showed it to my father, and my father was like, ooh, Vectorman was like an awesome game back in the day. I never had a Sega back in the day, so I didn't know that's how I couldn't play this game. Vectorman's really good. My father loved Vectorman. This is his favorite game ever. Well, not his favorite game ever, but it was his favorite Genesis game ever. It was a really good game. Really loved this game. So now, and here I am, way more than a decade later, playing Vectorman. Playing Vectorman. The game occasionally puts you through levels that deviate from the main game. This is one of them where we're riding on some sort of cart thing, almost like in Donkey Kong Country where you ride on carts, and you have to like in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Only this doesn't have a weird perspective angle or constantly puts. I don't even know what the point of these levels are. These levels can be really easy if you know what to do, and they go by very fast. Another BS thing about this game is that it doesn't reset your health after every level, so if you run out of health, see, I only have one little unit of health left, and then because I finished the last level with one unit of health, it doesn't reset your health. You start off with 1 health, so yeah, the game is kind of challenging. This is a really challenging game. There is no difficulty setting either, because, you know, why would you need a difficulty setting? True men only play on 1 difficulty setting. Hard. There's only 1 difficulty setting in this game, and it's hard mode. Why would anyone play this game on anything else? Vectorman Vectorman has like rocket boosters in his feet, so he can do like double jumps kind of thing and go above things. And his bosses in this game too. We already took out one of the bosses. You also get those score multipliers too, which actually like sees as ×5. It doesn't just multiply your score, it multiplies everything. Like for example, if I picked up a 1-up right now, it's gonna give me 5 extra lives because I have the X5 right now. And that's how you do it. That's another easy way to, like, an easy tip or trick to learn how to get a lot of it. A lot of it's luck, though, because 1-ups don't appear that often in this game. So a lot of it is about luck. There's a lot of luck involved in this game. Sometimes you get lucky, and sometimes, and look, Vectorman can morph into things, too. Morph into that bomb, make it explode, and destroy everything on the screen. And you go destroy everything on the screen. You can also shoot downwards. And for some reason, when you shoot downwards, it makes his shots go really slow for some odd reason. For some odd reason, makes shooting downwards somehow slow down its shots or something like that. And Vectorman apparently can swim. Well, you can't really like swim, but you can go underwater. You go to all sorts of weird parts of the world. The sky is pink for some reason. I don't know why the sky is pink. It's probably because of all the stuff Google's been doing to our world, actually. I wonder if Google had anything to do with this game. It would make sense, because recently it did have a security breach of Google. Someone in Perth, Western Australia, hacked into my Google account, and they stole some personal data of mine. That's not the real issue here. The real issue is what Google does about it. Google doesn't do anything to retain your data at all. They don't have any data protection plans or anything. They just let it happen, and then they lock you out of your account kind of thing. So I almost lost access to this YouTube account of mine that I've been using for so many years, all because of stuff like this. I blame Google for this most of the time. It's all good, because Google I don't think does a good enough job of their security. That's part of why I want to make my own competitor to get to Google, so I can make my own service like Google. It won't be as BS as Google, which I think is for, you know, a good cause, for a good reason for that. Because a lot of people just rely on Google and things like that for communication and for applying jobs and things like that. And if Google starts to take over the world, you know, if Google starts to take over the world pretty much, they could, you know, like block people out of their accounts, lock people out of their important private data. That's the reason why I never buy movies off YouTube Movies. I think YouTube Movies is kind of BS all the time. You pay so much for a movie, it doesn't let you download it or save it on your computer or phone, and it doesn't even let you watch it offline or anything like that either. If you only watch it online, strictly only watch it online, I don't think it's worth paying that. If you're gonna pay for a movie, you might as well just buy a physical copy of it. That's why I still like collecting physical formats, physical DVDs and Blu-rays and stuff like that. I still like collecting those for that very reason. I don't trust the internet as much. I don't trust digital stuff anymore, and I have a pretty valid reason to not trust this kind of stuff, because Google's gonna pull this crap out on me. I almost feel like I'm a character in the movie Hackers a lot of the time. Hackers also came out in 1995, the same year as Vectorman. Even featured the original Wipeout, which also came out in 1995. A system that was catching more people's attention in 1995 than the Genesis. The PS1. Of course, the PS1 was catching more people's attention, because that's what everyone wanted in 1995, as I kept saying earlier. And now we're in Sub-Zero. We're like under the sea right now, where it's apparently icy cold deep under the sea. There's these landmines everywhere that we could shoot at. You think the landmine would explode in one hit, but no, it doesn't. Vectorman has to shoot several times for it to explode, or whatever kind of mine is. I don't know what that is. It's 2049. What do you expect? And Vectorman can transform into a fish. He's actually immortal when he turns into a fish. He can swim through things and smash through things and destroy things. And destroy things. So yeah, I don't think this is going to be like Sega's Donkey Kong Country. It almost seems like their second attempt at a mascot. It's almost like they wanted another mascot, because Vectorman definitely is mascot material, just like how Donkey Kong was also mascot material for Nintendo. He's almost like a secondary mascot to Mario, and Vectorman could have been a secondary mascot to Sonic kind of thing. Vectorman definitely could have been, you know, like a really good mascot, and this game does have like a variety of play. I could tell they were really trying to compete with Nintendo, and they made this game by adding. That's probably why they added those middle levels in the game, those odd levels where you could like just beat them in like a few seconds. They could be quite challenging. I don't know what to do. I think those levels would have been better if they just left them as bonus stages, maybe as a way to like earn new lives or things like that. But no, they made them an actual part of the game. I don't even know what those bubble things are. Those bubble things under the sea that just hit us. What are those supposed to be anyways? I guess it only makes sense if people live in the year 2049. So we're going to take on another boss now. He's going to emerge. He's actually like another shape-shifting boss. He's going to look like some sort of bird thing at first. Looks like some sort of demented robot bird. And then he's going to transform after we shoot him a bunch of times. Just keep shooting him a lot, and eventually he's going to turn into something else and shoot him. A lot of the bosses in this game can easily be defeated simply by shooting at them. Well, the bosses in this game are almost just like enemies, but they're quite big. And some of them deal like defensive mechanisms, as we'll see later on, but this game does a good fair share of bosses. Yeah, like I said, Sega really was trying to be very ambitious this game. They really were trying to show that Genesis still has it. I often think it's like an old man trying to be cool. It's like an old man saying that I still got it. I could still do something against this. Sega also kind of demonstrated that too with Sonic 3D Blast. Sonic 3D Blast came out in the following year, and then it was in a time when Mario 64, I think, was already out, and Crash Bandicoot was already out too. But Sega wanted to show, look, the Genesis could still do 3D platformers, just like Super Mario 64 and Crash Bandicoot. So take that PlayStation, and then 64, you think your 3D platforms are unique? You think you could, or only your systems could do 3D platforms? Our system can do it too. Yeah, we can't do it better, but at least we could do it, and at least we tried. At least we could prove that it's capable to have 3D platformers on the Sega Genesis. I don't even think Sonic 3D Blast is true 3D. That's why I kept calling it Sonic Isometric Blast in that video I made of it way long time ago, back in my very early days of doing commentary. So the boss has been destroyed. We destroyed this boss that morphed into a polar bear, and now we're gonna go to the next level. I wonder what it's gonna be. Oh look, it's another Arctic level, another ice level. It's pretty obligatory that games have ice levels or Arctic levels in them. We could share stuff. I never made it very far in this game when I was a kid. When I was a kid, this was about as far as I would get. I never made it very far in this game. This game was freaking challenging. I didn't even know the secret to it, what to do, but eventually, I did get a real cartridge of this game, and I did play it a lot. I spent like hours playing it, not as much as that guy that made Bubsy Bobcat, where he spent like 17 hours a day playing Sonic the Hedgehog. Obviously not that extreme, but I did play this game quite a lot. I played this one a lot more too in the sequel. I actually didn't play the sequel that much. I remember playing Vectorman 2 on a few odd occasions. I don't remember it being as good as this. Then again, I don't remember much about Vectorman 2 at all, really. I tried to be even more ambitious than this, but had to be more ambitious when the game is already pretty ambitious to begin with. Sometimes when game systems try doing things that are too ambitious, it often causes them to fail. That's what happened to the Atari 2600 around 1982 when they started to deviate from the Space Invaders or Pac-Man clones they were constantly throwing out at us. At the time thought, hey, maybe we could put some more complex games on this system. Yeah, let's put some more games that are more complex. And yeah, they didn't really work very well. They made games where you had like adventure games, you had to buy stuff and go through things, and the Atari 2600 was just not fit for that. This is 2600, it's supposed to be for simple games, not overly complex games like that, so those games failed. And there's a huge generation, a huge batch of Atari 2600 games that were made around 1982, 1983 that suck for this very reason. Even the NES kind of did stuff like that too. There was a point in time where they tried making like 3D games on the NES, or like 3D, like an ASCII game for the NES. They really tried being overly ambitious and making a 3D Mario Kart style racing game on the NES, and that didn't go well. And the Genesis was the same thing. History is repeating itself. The Genesis tried being ambitious by putting Virtua Racing on it. I actually think Virtua Racing, the regular Virtua Racing, not Virtua Racing Deluxe, was actually kind of more impressive than Virtua Racing Deluxe, because it's a pure raw Genesis, putting all of its 3D polygon power onto our screen. But the upper one, the deluxe one, that's the 32X, so that's why I thought it was impressive. It's aided by the 32X. But Vectorman doesn't need a 32X to be cool. No, by then, this is after the 32X failed. So the Genesis, it was just the raw Genesis doing all this raw, awesome power. This is Ray Phoenix, signing out.